practice today, which is good right there. Had, forcing us. We've been pretty fortunate. Had some cloud cover days. I like it when it gets really hot out there. Forcing guys to have to compete, forcing guys to have to work. So, but this time of year, everybody's starting to get banged up in training camp, so they got to fight through. They got to do those things. Injury front, we got Cedric Giles going to be out with a hamstring injury probably for a significant amount of time right now to start out the season. But everybody else is, battling through all the bumps and bruises.
Obviously, every practice is important, but going into the end of this week and next week before they really get back in the flow of school, how important is that as far as shaping?
Well, it's huge. This is the most important week for us right now. Installation's in. We're getting. There's no school going on. It's just football. We got 2 practices today. We got 2 practices on Thursday. So when you have those double days and you really can get after it with, extended walkthroughs throughout the day too. You just get full days of football. It's huge developmental time and preparation time. Once school starts in, you look at a couple practices next week, then you're in the game week and the season's rolling. So, really training camp ends on Saturday night for us. And, at that point, you're kind of rolling into that next phase of things. So this week's the most important week.
You mentioned the conditions. How have you guys handled those things?
Pretty good. I thought we battled today pretty good. It got hot there at the end, but that's what I like. Those are, this afternoon, hopefully the sun stays out and it'll be a really hot one. And, just put guys in adverse conditions and see how they handle them like they're going to have to during the course of the season. And, these type of days are days that are designed, even the practice schedule is designed to see how you're going to handle a little bit of adversity and to see how they handle those things.
Are you happy with how they've handled it so far? The adversity, the heat, everything that's kind of gone on.
Yeah, we got a veteran group. They're trying to help the young guys learn too. But I think the older guys, they know they know how to handle themselves. They know how to hydrate. I haven't seen us, knock on wood, much cramping and all that issues. And I think a lot of that's a maturity deal too for the guys that they're taking care of their bodies the right way and not looking and. So, but why would I drink that? I'm not thirsty right now, and that has nothing to do with it. And but our strength staff did a great job. Our training staff's doing a great job keeping guys going in the right direction.
The training staff and the strength staff. I think there's an addition to a nutritionist this year.
Yeah.
Has she kind of helped the process?
Yeah, I think she's just breaking in right now, but it's going to help just making sure we have the right food out there for us, and and the right toward of. Everything, whether it's snacks, what we're getting coming off the practice field, how they're replenishing their body and getting their bodies right to move on to the next practice or the next game when we get into the season.
You mentioned the maturity. Do you feel you can push these guys a little harder now in camp because they got a veteran team? Yeah,
you can push them harder. You can push them light. You can do a lot more. I told them you're gonna have a great team leadership. Great teams leadership comes from within, not from the top down. And so I put a lot of how we're pushing, of letting the leaders on the team in on knowing what we're doing and expecting them to really kind of push the team from within instead of the coaches having to push it from the top down.
I know obviously in some positions, especially on defense, a lot of depth. Seems like you're more urgency with even the older guys about how important each practice is for them as far as being on that depth chart. You can't slip with what's behind them or what's ahead of them.
Well, I think they know that. I mean, a lot of times guys are fighting for starting jobs. No one's fighting for a starting job because, I guess a starting job means we put your name on the Jumbotron pregame. So they will be fighting for that because that's kind of a cool deal. But they're fighting for reps, and they know, that there's a lot of guys are going to play. We play a lot of players. And, when you're playing a lot of guys, and there's a lot of younger guys that are competing for reps, and every rep that they take is one less rep that an older guy gets. So they know however you play is going to determine how much you play. How you play now is going to determine how much you play during the season.
Have you seen an improvement in the accuracy from the field goal kickers this fall?
Yeah. They did a good job out there. We had a little field goal competition today at the end of practice. We did yesterday, and they're getting better. Trying to put them in pressure situations. So.
Is it frustrating as coaches, even if you try to do that? If you said it's still not replicating what Saturdays are.
You can't replicate it. For anybody, you can't replicate a Saturday. So there's only one guy kicking field goals right now that has any experience of what it's going to be like on a Saturday for us. That's Sobes. I think they're doing a pretty good job. But, there's so much that goes into it. There's a hold, there's a snap, there's all those other things, too. I think the misses today were more attributed to the snap than anything else. So not really the kick. The kicks, every kick that was made was a pretty solid kick. We had a couple bad snaps, and by the time the ball's getting down in a really bad position, they're trying as best they can to recover it. But it's might not look as clean as if it's a good snap and hold.
We spoke to Des Harris, I think, yesterday. How do you deal with someone coming in like he did, injured his senior year, and then having to, redshirt, and now he hasn't played in 2 years?
Well, a lot of guys that are, I know obviously his senior year didn't work out the way he wants, but this is the SEC, this is college football, so to even compare it to playing in high school, I think is completely different. That's why I think a lot of true freshmen sometimes they'll be shocked when they get out there. I mean, that shock value. They go from this recruiting press conferences and I'm the superstar to they get on that field the first day and they look, wow, there's a lot of superstars out here compared to me. And, so that adjustment. But, Dez went through it last year, playing on the scout team, had a really good spring, had a good fall camp. So I think he's adjusted to the speed. I think, the emotion, the excitement of game day will be a lot of fun for him that he hasn't had in a while. But I think the adjustment to playing, he's going to be more prepared from practice than anything else.
From the scrimmage, the first time on Scott Field for this team, does anything came out of you that's kind of excited you or pleased you?
Well, it was good and bad. I told the team, I thought it was a really, really good scrimmage. But we want to have a great team, So, we have to play above where we've ever played before, So, in comparison, I think the guys kind of felt, hey, Coach, that was a good scrimmage. And I told them, I said, and they were wondering why I was disappointed. I said, I agree, it was a good scrimmage. But we're not looking to be good. We're looking to be great. And, so our level of play in every phase, every play has to be at a whole nother level if we're going to win a championship this year. And, and that's what the guys are learning to do. And that's what this is about of taking themselves as individual players, as units, as position groups, and as a whole team, taking ourselves to a whole nother level.
I think it's starting to get a little clearer on the offensive line at some of those positions that are, up in the air. I guess
I haven't really done that, no, because I don't even want to. I'm not going to do that till the end.
Okay.
I want to. Sometimes I tell our guys, don't worry about what's not important right now. So anytime I even start thinking about positioning guys, I clear my mind. So it's not important right now because everybody's getting the same number of reps. So let's focus on what is important right now, and all these guys getting their reps. Making sure we're coaching and having guys improve, and then what we'll do is at the end, we'll figure it out. We mix up the depth chart we did today. I just jumbled the whole depth chart today for everybody because the threes get the same number of reps as the ones, so it really doesn't matter. It's reps. And so to see how you perform with different groups and worry about what's important, which is getting better, and not, stuff that doesn't matter, like where am I on the depth chart and all that.
Where are some areas you want to clean up before Friday's scrimmage again?
A lot, just everything, just consistency of execution. When training camp you get through, you put a whole lot in. So you look what we have in right now. We try to, after installation's done, you focus on it. You're going to carry about 30% of what's in now in a specific game plan. Well, when the whole thing's in, for the older guys, it's a little bit easier because they kind of know what's going on in the big picture of the offense. But the young guys, there's about 3 or 4 game plans worth of material currently in. And they're kind of like, just the processing of information. And that's a huge thing of understanding and processing information and then executing your job at a high level.
All right. Appreciate it.